julep, pop, 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 julep, pop, 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 julep, pop, 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 pop,
Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're in a little bit of a different background here. Me and my wife are actually house sitting / dog sitting for my sister and her husband. And so we are out in beautiful Squamish, BC, a little bit removed from Vancouver here, about an hour and a half drive out, but it is beautiful. We're like right beside mountains where their place is, and it is pretty gorgeous. And so cannot complain there. And their dog's super cute, so not a lot of complaints. But that does mean that we're in a little bit of a different environment, different background. And so I did my best to try to make a little setup here for a video. The first thing I want to say is just Happy New Year. We are officially in 2022, and that is super exciting. 2020 and 2021, we obviously, maybe they didn't shape up to be exactly the years we thought they would be. There's a lot of, just tragedies and a lot of not so great stuff that happened. And so or at least I am hoping that 2022 is going to be a year that starts to turn things around a little bit. I know at least for me and my business and this YouTube channel and a couple other things that I'm kickstarting in the new year, I'm super excited about. I see a lot of potential for growth, a lot of potential for innovation, just getting better at what I do, both in business and at the craft of filmmaking. And so I'm also excited to just share that with you through this channel, to share the things that I am learning, which I've already been trying to do, but I'm hoping that I learn even more in 2022 and I'm able to pass that on to you as well. And so hopefully there's a lot of good value that you can get out of this channel in the future year. I also really quickly just wanted to show off this new toy that I got for Christmas. We all love Christmas presents, and if you're a filmmaker, the best Christmas presents are gear. And so my family always makes fun of me a little bit that I don't actually ask for real gifts. I just ask for things for my work, but that's what I find fun. That's what I find joy in. And so this last year I got this guy right back here. This is an Apurture, one of those Apurture bulbs. I'll put the link in the description and probably flash some sort of graphic that shows what I'm talking about. But it's these Apurture bulbs that you can buy where you can basically adjust like the brightness, the color temperature. It's actually RGB as well, so you can have different colors. And that's the really nice thing about this light as well, is that it's Bluetooth. And so you can hook it up to Apurture's Situs Link app, which I actually have loaded up on my phone here. So I'm just gonna walk through really quickly what this app can do, how you can control this light. So first of all, under the white tab, you can adjust the intensity, as you can see behind me there. If I'm not looking at the lens here, it's just because I'm looking up at the monitor to actually see what I'm doing. And so you can adjust, you can dial in the intensity of your light. You can adjust the color temperature as well too, so you can make it quite cool at 10,000 Kelvin. You can also make it quite warm at 2,000 Kelvin and anywhere in between there. And so for this last shot, I had it hooked up at 5,600, which is right there, just to make it kind of a daylight balance. You can also add tints to it, which is really, really interesting. So if you're in a space and you notice that the lighting in your space is kind of tinted yellow or tinted green or magenta, you can actually make a correction for that, which is really, really handy. You can also have the source type, and so you can pick, moonlight or horizon or daylight or day white rather, overcast sky, blue sky. All these different things you can dial in, which if you know Apurture, with a lot of their other Bluetooth accessible lights, these are very similar features, but it's nice this is compatible with this bulb, that you can actually accomplish these same effects with this bulb rather than just with their higher end point source lights. You can also go under gels here. And so you can do, you can choose either you have a tungsten light or a daylight balanced light. So basically, treat this as if you are choosing which light you're going to use, right? If you're pulling out a tungsten light or if you're pulling out a daylight balanced light. And then you're applying gels to whichever one you choose. So if you have tungsten, then obviously that's going to react differently than a daylight light, because they're balanced differently. And so when you apply gels to that, it will look different if it's daylight or if it's tungsten. So let's select daylight. And then if you do an 1/8 CTO, we start to warm up as we go to 1/2 and 3/4, full CTO. And so you can see, okay, now we're at color temperature orange, right? We're at a tungsten balance when we put the full CTO on. And so that's really handy if you are used to working on actual film sets where you're used to gelling your lights. This might be something that feels more natural to you. Another easy way to do this is going under the color tab. And not only do you have specific presets that you can do red or yellow or green, maybe you want more of like a teal, and then you can adjust the intensity for that as well. Or what you can do is you can literally just like from the color picker, just slide around until you find a color, hue, and saturation that works for you. And so you can really dial this in, which is really nice. You can even do it by eye. If I'm looking at my monitor, I can just kind of fiddle around with this color dial and find something that really fits my shot and blends in nicely. So even something like that right there, I'm really happy with. I think it has a good look to it. And so that's a really easy way to do that. You also have an effects panel. And so you can go under your effects and you can select like TV and press start. And that'll basically have, I don't know if you can see it in the background, but just kind of this like flickering kind of TV effect where the dimness kind of flicks back and forth as if there's different scenes that you're watching. You can have like lightning where it's kind of doing strobe kind of effects. There's some other presets that you can pick from, such as fire, like that, where it kind of has this pulsing kind of fire effect. On each of these effects, there's actually going to be different attributes that you can select. And so if you just kind of flick through some of these different effects, you can see that there's different options that we can adjust. For the most part, all of them, you can adjust the intensity, but then there's going to be some other effects that you can adjust as well, whether it be saturation or frequency. It just kind of depends on the effect as to what kind of attributes are changeable on your end. Under the effects panel, there's some other tabs that you can pick from as well and dial things in. You can manually kind of create effects. You can also use the color picker, which I haven't played around too much with, but basically you can kind of like point your camera phone or the camera on your phone at a source, and it'll basically capture the color temperature and color of that source and match it, which is actually really useful. I just haven't really played around with it a lot. And then there's also a music effects tab. So basically you can import a music file. So if you're doing music videos, you can actually import the music file and then basically create effects based on that, which is actually really, really handy. Like you can match all of your lighting to specific parts of the song, which is very, very interesting. And so I haven't played around a lot with this, but it actually seems like it would be really useful depending on the kind of work that you're doing. And so that's something to play around with a little bit, and I'll probably do that pretty soon. I just got this light, so I'm still kind of working out some of the capabilities of it. But hopefully that gives you a nice overview of what this light's capable of. I'm really excited about it. I think it's a really, really interesting and cool thing to have in your bag. I can see now that the light's still in that fire setting, so it's kind of flickering. Anyway, hopefully that's kind of sets the mood. That's kind of fun. But yeah, I think this is a really useful tool to have in your kit because it's so versatile. Oftentimes we are using practical lights in our scenes, whether it be for corporate film, sometimes even for weddings, but especially for like narrative, music videos, those sorts of things. Often we are trying to create lighting based off of a source, based off of a kind of practical light that's in our scene because we want the light to feel motivated. And so oftentimes you're having to bring in your practicals and then try to match everything to that. And sometimes that's not so easy because the practical source has a really bad color temperature. And there's just different obstacles. You can't adjust the brightness, things like that. And so having a bulb like this where you can just screw it into your current practical lights and then adjust basically every aspect you ever will need to is so, so helpful. And so big fan of this light so far, really excited to start using this in my work. Anyway, that's all that I have for you. Hopefully that was helpful. So hopefully you gained something from that video and learned a little bit about this light, and also are getting excited about this next year in 2022. So until next time, we'll see you later. If you like this video, go ahead, give it a like, subscribe to this channel, and that just helps us to keep making videos and make it worth it for us to keep uploading. And also just it allows people to see this content as well. So if you found it helpful, you are able to share that and allow other people to gain something from it just like you did. So again, until next time, we will see you. Have a great start of your 2022.